Hello everyone, this is the Irritated Gamer, back from the dead to do a commentary on my first ever Irate Gamer parody, the Super Castlevania 4 review, or Castlevania 2 review, depending if you remember it by the false title. The Save State Gamers commentaries have inspired me to do this and provide some closure to the Irritated Gamer show. So far, Phil's commentaries have been fantastic. Hopefully this can be half as good as his.
Alright, the Irritated Gamer here and ready to smash.
The background music used here is from the game Suikoden. I thought that the bluegrass hillbilly style would fit nicely with Chris Bohr's. In my opinion, this one isn't as good as my later ones. Actually, my least favorite is probably... actually, it's definitely my least favorite. Zelda A Link to the Past review, which was my second parody. Oh, here's a screenshot of Chris Bohr's letter to James Rolfe that was posted on the Screw Attack forums by Mike Matei. My problem with my early parodies is that they only spoof Irate Gamer's poor gaming skills and ridiculous complaints, which is essentially what most of his reviews are, and I think it's okay for an Irate Gamer parody that came out in November 2007. But when you compare them to the later parodies that spoof all dimensions of Bohr's, like the way he pronounces words, live action scenes, special effects, and even things that happen to him in real life, it makes these early parodies seem a little simplistic by comparison. I was inspired to start the Irritated Gamer show after watching the Upset Gamers parody of Irate Gamer, most notably his Metroid video. This is the original Upset Gamer, not Acoustic Rocker's Upset Gamer, which didn't debut until April or May 2008.
More like it sticks out like Santa Claus's gut.
The narration in my early videos sounds really monotone, and listening back to these, I think it's hard to understand what I'm saying at times. Some people thought that was intentional, like they'd say, "Wow, you have Bohr's mush mouth way of talking." Wow, I really do have Bohr's mush mouth way of talking. In the first few parodies, I sound really bored and talk with zero emotion, which I think hurts the parody a little bit, because I think the funniest Irate Gamer parody moments are simply bits of dialogue with the perfect execution. But eventually I did switch over to emulating the cartoony voice, while attempting to emulate Bohr's cartoony voice, especially when he's narrating. Back in the 1980s, cereal was an important part of my life. By the way, 1176 does an uncanny Chris Bohr's impression. Search for the Irate Gainer show, his parodies are really funny. I remember somebody left the comments stating that he loved how I started the video out by saying, "alright," because it's a word that Bohr's tends to overuse. But it wasn't meant as a reference to Bohr's actually, it was just a coincidence, which reminds me of what's so great about Irate Gamer parodies. If your special effects look shitty and your acting is horrendous, people will just take it as an intentional spoof of the Irate Gamer. But after reading that comment, I did start to notice how often Bohr's says that word. He says it like all the time. And he also really likes the words vertigo and buddy. Vertigo and buddy. I mean, everybody has verbal crutches, and if you spend enough time with somebody, you'll tend to pick up on that, like the certain phrases and words that they fall back on. But when you're scripting a review, wouldn't you tend to notice that you already used the line, "This game gives me a bad case of vertigo," like 5 times already? And that's why we love you, Bohr's. Alright, well that's all I have to say for this episode. Have a good night.
Well, I can't find footage of someone else beating this game, so I guess I'll have to stop here.